Good morning. Welcome to Philosophy. I'm your host, Jennifer Fallaw-Doering, and today we're going to talk about a lot of things. I haven't done a philosophy show probably in 2 years, approximately. Been kind of busy doing other shows and lots of work. Put that phone over there. But I want to thank you all for joining me today. The plan is to do these shows every Tuesday and Thursday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time. And it's going to be kind of an eclectic show. We will have Gentel. We will have sometimes. We will have thoughts over coffee and take questions from the audience for free reading. So if you would like a free reading, please get your question up in the chat. We are streaming to YouTube and to my groups on Facebook. So I'll just wait a few minutes and let people file in. My philosophy is to believe in infinite possibilities. And so this show, for those who haven't seen it before, is my thoughts, the information that I get. For those of you that don't know me, I guess the best way to describe me would be a prophet. I don't like that. I don't like labels. I don't like the ego attached to that, so I don't use that. So basically, people call me a psychic. They say, you do remote viewing, you do all these things. But I work with God, Jesus, and a selected few archangels. Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel. I have the ability to project my consciousness into your home to see if there are ghosts there or bad guys there, or to the levels of heaven. And I've been doing this for a very long time. I keep it divine. I do not entertain anything dark. And I give you what I get. I go in and I ask questions, and sometimes questions that can't necessarily be Googled. And so for the past, 3.5, 4 years, I've been doing Real News Live on Rumble with Mike Barra and asking these questions and doing meditations. I've developed a form of meditation. It's called interdimensional meditation. It is a projection of consciousness to the 6th level of heaven. I don't know why it's the 6th level of heaven, but it seems to be where all the archangels are. And I ask questions, and I come back with answers, and I write it down. Wrong or right, my intentions are true. To deliver truth, hope, and answers to you through this difficult time. And that's what I've been focusing my time on personally with people. I am a healer. I guess that would be the biggest part of me, is I am a healer. I work with Jesus. He's my teacher. And of course, God and Jesus do the healing. I'm just a girl who walks into meditation, calls your soul in and says, can we do this for them? And I try. So over the years, many, many years, doing these meditations, way out there, I am a very grounded person. Research like some of you do, because when I go in with a question, I want to know that I don't know anything about it or don't know much. And so then you come back and then you do the research and you find out, okay, well, does what I received match up with what other people are getting? Does it match up with the intel that we're receiving right now? And over the years, that information that I've retrieved for people, we nicknamed Gentel because it's easier than saying stuff I found out in interdimensional meditation. And so whenever I receive some, and I have time to go into meditation before these shows, I will share it with you. Um, so today, because I decided to start these shows at 9 a.m. For me, I do still have clients scheduled at 10, probably until next week, and so it will be an hour show. But after that, we're going to get into some deep subjects, and we're going to do some talking. And, when I'm a guest on other people's show, it's great. But sometimes they don't let me talk. They just want me to sit over there, psychic Pez dispenser and spit out all the answers. Okay, well, I have a lot more to share and I have a lot to teach. And this is my humanitarian project. I started it a long time ago. And when I started it, I did everything for free. It wasn't about money until such time as I got to a place in my life where I'm like, well, I can either quit this and focus on making money for my family, or I can charge. And so I do charge, but it's basically a donation for what I do. Anyway, that's who I am. I'm not going to apologize for loving God and Jesus. They're absolutely real. I will never apologize for that. And I will talk about them a lot. My abilities came to me. Well, I guess they were always there. But I've always had a really strong faith. I never felt alone. There was always this ongoing conversation, like somebody was watching me, the loving presence watching me and helping me all throughout my life. And I would just talk to God in my head. And then a long time ago, when I was married and I had 2 small children, 4 and 7, my husband was killed by a drunk driver on the way home from work. And that is really when I had to carry on alone, and I didn't want my parents worrying about me, and I didn't want my friends worrying about it. Everybody was so scared I wasn't going to make it. But those little girls looked at, particularly my daughter Faith, looked up at me and said, "What are we going to do now, Mommy?" And I think that was the longest second of my life. And I thought about it. I said, well, I could just go to bed and wallow in my own sadness and let my parents raise these kids. And then I looked down at that innocent, beautiful face and I said, oh, not on my watch. And I said, Mommy's going to make everything okay. We're going to keep our chin up. We're going to move forward. And Mommy will make everything okay. And then I talked to God after that. I'm like, how are we going to make everything okay? It's like, this is a big one. This is too big for me. And so that ongoing conversation, God, oh my gosh, one of them's sick. What do I do? Help me do this right. Just a constant desire to be everything they need me to be and not to fail for them strengthened my faith. And sometimes in life, we're presented with a bad situation that makes us grow so much. And you can, and I always say, sometimes you get backed into a corner. You're going to come out swinging, or you're going to lay down and die. That's where my ability comes from. That's where my faith comes from, is strengthening that personal connection over time. It's not some trick. I don't use any cues or cards or anything like that. I learned to listen for my own benefit, for their benefit. And what I found in that close personal connection with God, Jesus, and the archangels came along after a while when I started meditating. It was a really good story, but I don't have time to tell it. What I found was a deep family kind of love that no matter who was standing next to me, got me through. And I found so much peace in the way I learned to meditate. Nobody taught me. Somebody just suggested, hey, you should meditate for stress since you're widowed and raising 2 children on your own, take care of a house. And I'm like, how the hell am I supposed to do that? It's so loud over here. So I do it when everybody went to sleep at night. It was like a wonderful adventure. And in the beginning, I thought it was all my imagination until things they told me started happening. And then it was many years of teaming up with another individual who used HemiSync technology to kind of go where I was going, I would just go. His answers would go in with a question and come back and switch emails, exchange emails, and not talk to each other. And the answers were so close, his more scientific, mine more loving, that over time I said, we've got something here. And many, many years, I learned a lot of things about myself. And as a new ability popped up, there was a true divine intent behind it. I want to heal this person. I want to help this person. I want to give them the answers. I want them to be okay like you made me okay. So if any new people want to come at me and say, oh, you shouldn't be talking to archangels, you shouldn't be doing this, I have seen Jesus' face on a daily basis. And I will put my hand on a Bible and look you straight in the eye and tell you that he is real. And so I don't care what anybody says. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to get it out to you. And I'm going to trust in them. And that's who I am. And that's my philosophy, is that you keep your intentions divine, you keep them true, and you keep it God-centered. And do the best you can and believe in infinite possibilities, and you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. Now, clearly, I'm doing the show today, and I've got a scratchy voice. Thank you. Allergies or something. Let me get some coffee. So along the way, it has been a wonderful journey. I'm not new. I've just been staying in my protected circles, and I ask God to send people to me who need me. And along the way, I was presented with an opportunity through Dave Barra, who's a sci-fi author who has a twin brother, Mike Barra, who's on Ancient Aliens like a million times. He's really famous, okay? So I joke with him about that. But I kind of stay in my circles when the kids are growing up. You know, I didn't want anybody coming out and say, oh, your mom's a foo-foo, whatever. You know, and I had a huge free group on Facebook, and most, me and a couple other ladies did free work for people to help them. And I've learned a lot of things that I didn't even think were possible. So throughout this transition, political transition, financial transition, I think I came in probably just after. Well, I started talking to Mike Barra probably in 2019, and they would call me while I'm making dinner and stuff and ask me all kinds of questions, and I was an anonymous source and did not even give me a cool code name, by the way, Mike. But we've had a wonderful time getting answers about what's really going on behind the scenes. And I do hope, and some of that stuff you just never get confirmation on. Some of it we call Gentile confirmation. It comes up right away. But throughout the entire time, it has been my intention to help these people go on. And I know that there's a point in time when it's my time to teach the things that I've learned to the people who found things out first and who will be the elders to teach everybody else when they look to them, when the world changes, and say, well, what the hell happened? That's all of you. But there's a responsibility in knowing there is, we're going to have to be the example. And that's where I come in. Not that I'm so great and I do everything right, because, you know, clearly lots of faults over here. All right. I'm just running through sand just like you are and reaching out to God and say, I have no idea what I'm doing. I really, really, really need your help. And it comes. It comes. But what we're going to start now is we're going to start learning about why we came here. Okay? And it's not that you're forced into some divine mission. It's just that you chose to be one of the helpers, to be one of the wise ones when everybody else comes to you. And there's a responsibility there. And so we're going to learn about conscious creation. That's what they're teaching me. I'm supposed to write like a whole bunch of books someday. And someday when the financial transition happens, I'll have a little more time to do that. But I've learned a lot. And if you really want, one thing that I know is that if you really want a better future, a better reality, you got to create it. You got to pair up with God. And if you're really looking for the truth, you will find your way to Him. And so I do my best. And sometimes I win and sometimes I fail. And it's been such a crazy journey. But I have met so many amazing people from that show with Mike Barra, Real News Live on Rumble. We're still doing it. Monday and Wednesdays. But it's time for me to come out here also and be me again. And it's time for all of you, if you're going to open up, if you're going to search for truth, you're going to have to start being more spiritual. And that starts with your thoughts, starts with your actions. It's not just what you do or don't do, it's what you think and don't think. And so that leads me into producing my own show. Thoughts Over Coffee with Jennifer Fallaw-Doering. Okay? And then, so I asked people for some questions on Telegram. You want to find me on Telegram? It's Fallawsophy on Telegram. We have all kinds of fun over there. You got to join the chat. I mean, I have been sent the most amazing group of loving, caring individuals in my chat. And we rarely have any haters, any problems. People get in there and say, oh my gosh, something's happening in my life. And everybody just showers them with prayers and guidance and help and everything else. And then, then there's amazing researchers. It was like a news feed. All you got to do is go there and find out what's happening. Thoughts Over Coffee today. The question was, get back to my notes. I text myself my notes so I don't forget. People wanted to know if there's a hell. I don't like to focus on those, and I don't suggest on that topic, and I don't suggest that anybody focus on anything of very low vibration, like demons or topics like that at all. Get enough information. You got enough information. Do not dwell in that spot. But this is my understanding over the years, what I got from that. I didn't used to think it existed either. Didn't think demons existed. Didn't think any of that stuff existed. I've learned a lot. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, everything is real somewhere. I have developed a God theory over time. I'm not going to give you the whole theory right now. It's a long one. But to understand what I'm talking about, when you ask me if there's a good place and a bad place, everybody has a vibrational level. Everything has a vibration. Everything has an energetic vibrational level. Okay? And as a human being, we came here to be human right now. We did not come here to be off somewhere thinking we're some alien, this is who I really am, and that's why I can't find. No, we came here to learn and do a job now and to be human now. Doesn't matter what our origins are. It's your intent that matters. And along the way, we're presented with opportunities to be high vibrational, to be love, or to take the suggestions of the enemy. Example, somebody says something terrible to you. Like, I probably have some haters in the chat, but I don't have time for that. All right? I don't care. I got to get an admin because my people, they'll just get them. I don't care. If somebody says something terrible to you, well, let's say you're a brother and sister, and you're fighting. And they know exactly what's going to hurt you the most. And they say it, and that hurt, and you get mad. The opportunity is there. You could either hurt them just as bad or worse, but you know that that's going to be in there forever. Once it's said, you can't take it back. Holding back and not saying that, that's divine. Whether they deserve it or not. Okay, taking the high road. A lot of what I teach is what Jesus teaches in different words. They've taught me in different ways, but that's what it's about. You can relate that situation to anything. Okay? And yeah, I shouldn't have said that, Jesus. Yeah, we make mistakes, and that's what it's all about. Learning not to do things again. But when you take the high road, and your intentions are divine, your intentions are true, over time, that vibration raises. People say, well, how do I raise my vibration? Is there some kind of meditation? Is there some kind of trick? Is there some? No, there isn't. Everybody tells you there is. They're wrong. Time and time again, choice after choice, it's about being love. And people talk about sin. What is sin? Well, I don't really know. But I asked about it. And it is going against your true nature. Now, if you're supposed to, if you come from a place like heaven that's loving and divine, and you come here and you just act on every emotion and hurt people around you, and you're selfish and do all these terrible things and cheat on your wife and all this other stuff, you know how that's going to hurt people. It's work on your emotional maturity, but a sin would be just a corruption of who you truly are. And also a lesson. Now, people want to know if there is a bad place. What I've learned from what's been told to me, I have a God theory. There are different pieces to that God theory. It's very long. But part of it, I call the bullseye theory. Now, they say in the beginning, there was the word. No, there wasn't. There was a thought. Everything is created in thought. Everything is housed within the body of God. And one day he decided to separate himself into pieces so that he could experience everything. Because all-knowing is not all-knowing without experience, is it? So we come to the bullseye theory. So when God separated himself, you got the center. You got the biggest piece. There is the biggest piece. And there must always be the biggest piece. He is the unmoved mover. He holds everything in place. Okay? He has to hold the thought of creation. So he separated himself into these rings. And then those pieces separated themselves because they have the ability to create. We are made in the image and likeness of God. We're talking about your soul. Okay? First ring around the bullseye, seventh heaven, that's our home. Highest vibration, your true self. They also have the ability to separate again and again and again according to what they'd like to experience. Okay, it's all about experience. And in order to experience, every separation of self must exist at a different vibrational spectrum, different vibrational level. And that's when you get dimensions. Okay? Now, so it goes on and on and on and on, rings around the bullseye. And the further you go out from the center, the further you step away from that campfire, the cooler it is, the lower the vibration is, the lower the concentration is. Why do we have to eat? Because we're that's a whole nother show in itself. But when you're in heaven, you don't have to eat because you are so closer to the bullseye and you are bathed and nourished by the light, by him. And we have found ourselves, the war in heaven never ended. Okay, we are on a dimension right now that is the battleground. Evil was never supposed to be here. They're broken, and they are like spiritual parasites, and they must attach to a host in order to stay here, because vibration, the way that works, when you are out of a body, you do not have an anchor, you do not have a host, you get sucked back to where you belong. Okay, so I will do a full show on that one day, but this is going to be in my book, so I don't really know how much I should do. But private students of mine learn this. When you pass away, you will go to the place, to the dimension that matches your vibration. Okay, so, and that's a spectrum, all right? So, if most of your life, you try to be a good person, you screwed up a whole bunch, but, your intentions were true. You didn't really mean to do that. Like maybe you intended to help people and you just kind of like couldn't really figure out how to do that or made mistakes along the way. Everybody's got a basic, fall within a certain spectrum of vibration, okay? And you don't have to like ascend right now and just like pop out of your body or whatever, It doesn't have to be so serious. But if you spend your life engaging in low vibrational activities and low vibrational intent, you will be low vibrational. And when you go, you will go to the place where you will be the happiest. And if you're very low vibrational and you love to hurt and you love hate and you love all these things, that's where you'll find yourself, where all those things exist. And so, yes, there is a place. How many places? I don't know. But God created everything with thought, and we create everything with thought right now as pieces of him. And when you pray and you pair up with that bigger piece and you get more people to pray, that power of creation is stronger. It is very real. And I'm always, and I got to get on, I'll get on to the Gentile, but that's why I need 2 hours for my show. But if you keep your intentions true and you do your best and you love God and you try to love your people and stuff, you'll make it home. Okay? And this is why we turn the other cheek. This is why we do not engage with the enemy. I always say that. We don't listen to fear. Jesus never refers to evil as evil. He says, stop listening to fear. That's why it's in the intro here. And it's a process. You don't like graduate and get some kind of psychic certificate or spiritual certificate, like, I'm a master. When everybody says they're a master at something, I laugh. Because I'm like, there's so much more to learn about everything. And any theory that limits God's playground or area of creation to some kind of box, I would question. I would definitely question that. Because that savors of control. And is probably not true. Okay, so that's Thoughts Over Coffee for today. Let's get to the Gentel. Now, I try to go in and get some things to figure out what we're going to get this weekend. Okay? So this is Gentel for February 1st, 2024. Interdimensional Meditation with Jennifer Fallaw-Doering. And I went to the 6th level of heaven, where I have a house. And I talked to Archangel Michael and Archangel Gabriel. And I asked him, okay, well, what will we see in the news this weekend, like from now till Sunday or Friday through Sunday? And what we're going to see is what they're doing right now is they're setting up the scene in the news for an attack on the border, the southern border of the United States. They're going to talk about rushing the border, like all kinds, massive rush on the border of illegals. And when we were talking about that, I saw all these Black Hawk helicopters just zooming down to that area. And I don't know if that was related or a separate thing that we will see in the news this week, but that's what they're talking about. Somehow this is a distraction. But I haven't made those connections yet. I really didn't have enough time. Okay, in the RV news, we're going to hear talk about adjustments of rates and monies received and spent over the next couple days and through the weekend. I asked if people actually got funds, the bondholders, if they actually got funds. And the answer is yes. Some did. Yes. That is true. Now, notifications. Originally on my timeline, and this timeline has been moved so many times because they push this thing off. As of now, and if nothing happens, let's screw it up. I was seeing not this week, but next week to make appointments. We're still on for that. They could possibly fit it in quickly this week if everything's going really, really well. But I think after Monday, sometime next week is probably, as long as no one screws it up, that's when it happens. Now, this is something that I don't know what it's about, but I kept hearing it. Like Michael was trying to tell me it, and I wasn't getting it. But what I heard was Russian spies. So, something comes out about Russian spies in the news. There you go. Now, this is interesting. Trump gave the unions an ultimatum. Now, that's interesting, isn't it? Now, why would he be doing that? Isn't that something you do when you're like in the presidency? Very interesting stuff going on with Donald Trump right now. You want to keep an eye on that. And that's the Gentel I have for today. And you know what? I am not good at producing my own show. There you go. There's the Gentel banner. Okay, so now let's go to some questions. I want to take a moment and ask you all to go to jenniferfallaw.com if you would like, if you need healing, if you would like to book a reading, if you would like private mentoring by me for your psychic journey, spiritual development, that is all available there. I have not gotten into there to take the sales down and I do a yearly forecast reading. I only offer them in January. It's still up there. If you want one, go get it because I'm going to get in there probably tonight because I'm booked. and take it down. Okay. What else is going on at Jennifer Fallaw-Doering? If you can't afford a healing, send me your picture and your name anyway. Okay. I mean, yeah, the payment, the donation helps me, pay the bills and, feed the family and everything, but I'm still going to do it anyway. Still going to do it anyway. Not everybody has to have a reading, but if you're in dire straits and you want a healing for your pet or your people, we'll take Jesus and try the best we can. So just get in there and email me anyway. Everybody's got to email me to schedule after purchase because, Google screwed up my website. So I got to do everything manually now. Been targeted. Bastards. All right. Now, Fallawsophy on Telegram. You want to go there? You want to be there? Whenever I have thoughts, I post it. If I get additional information, additional gentel, I post it there. I do also have Jennifer Fallaw-Doering on Telegram, and that's where I post all the gentel notes and the shows attached to those. So it's a running list, and you can go back and binge watch that. Now, here we go. We're in the Ask Me Anything segment. Sorry about the lighting. This is a weird computer. All right, let's go back here. Let's see who's here with us. How are we doing on time? Yeah, we got a little bit of time. Okay, so we got all the regulars. Hi, guys. Everybody's excited about the show. Thank you, guys. Just getting down to questions. If you have questions, please post them in the chat now. Everybody's just saying how excited they are that I'm doing my own show again. I know, it's been forever. I'm sorry. Got a little overwhelmed there. Okay. Glad you're doing the show. Everybody's saying good morning. Let's go down to, if you have a question, post it again so I can start down here. Hi, Joanne. Okay, once we do our appointments and turn around humanitarian projects, how long will they take to get back to us? That depends. So what I originally saw for that is that they're going to do them in waves. You don't do everybody at once. And they do not just hand you millions and millions of dollars and say, good luck, thanks. No. So you will get some kind of approval. You could be waiting a couple months. You could be waiting a year. I'm sure there would be some kind of communication that, yes, we've received your request. You will be notified when and if your project is approved. But the project funds are additional funds. They cannot take your, let's say Zoom, away from you and not give you anything for it. So they will pay you out a basic amount first. And then they can't just say it, okay, maybe we will approve this, maybe we will exchange this, blah, 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 blah. No. They will pay you out a basic amount, and I kind of got 11 million, but that could, could be wrong. Then you submit for the project. And if it is approved, what I got is that you'll be contacted. You'll be set up with a project manager, and they will sit down with you and say, yes, we've approved this project. This is the amount of money that we've approved for the entire project. This is going to happen in phases. Okay, so what do you need first? How much do you need? And so let's say, okay, well, I need to get the property and I need to get it remodeled and I need to do all these things and I probably need about this much money. And they'll say, okay, that's approved. Here's this much money. Come back to us when you're done with that. And we'll approve. So in phases, they want to make sure you're actually doing it, which I think is perfectly understandable. Okay. we'll go on to the next question here. So where was that? Joanne, let's see. Okay. I'm not, well, yeah, I guess. Let me just look, okay, because I'm a mom. All right. The biggest part of me is a mom. I'm a total mom. I'm mother hen. That's just who I am. It's not going to change. All right. Is Keenan really sick or faking? Let's ask Jesus. Well, he's kind of faking, all right? It's really not as bad as you think. But he does have something like an ear infection or a sinus infection lurking because he's really tired and he's grumpy. So I think something's coming. So I would take him in and have him looking at his sinuses and his ears. Let's see. Why was Phil in Ohio? Well, that's his business. I'm really not going to. I assume if Phil was in Ohio and he's not telling you why, then I probably shouldn't tell you either. Okay. Once the RV hits, how long do you think it'd be for NESARA to kick in? The RV is part of NESARA, Jasara, and that has already started. They're trying to get as much done behind the scenes so it's not public, so people don't like rush to buy foreign currencies and flood. It's they try to get us through this RV thing quietly. Okay, get it done. Because they really do have to pull that old currency and everything off the streets. We got to get it in. After that's completed, there is a period of time, setting up treasury account. Treasury contacts the big bank, said yes, it's a legitimate asset, and the big bank says, oh, we can give you 1%, would you like to do that? And then there's a period of time where they're doing that, and then before you have access to actual money. When we go to gold, which comes after that, now I don't know where they pull Biden out. Somewhere between those two things. When we go to gold is when you'll have full access to your treasury account, which I've been told, from, divine. So it could be wrong, but I don't think so. The treasury, the way it is right now for the New Republic and what's going on behind the scenes, cannot hold fake money. Okay? And until that gold-backed money is recognized as our legitimate recognized currency, it sits. Okay, so when the announcement comes and everybody said, oh, NESARA started, we're going to gold. Well, we already started it, but yeah. Then that becomes fully available to you. And you can move it into your holding account, which is a big account with a big bank who can handle large amounts of money. And then you move it to wherever you want it, other accounts, things like that. You have freedom to do that. So, but there is a big, long rollout of NESARA. I think they take care of the financial and the political part of it first. And then we get to a place where we start taking on all the areas of our life, like medical and pharmaceutical and insurance and retirement and everything else. So what they do is they basically get everybody in a good place. And then they start revealing everything. And then they start one by one going through all these areas of our lives and cleaning them up and making them for the people again. For the people again. I just thought about that union information. Why'd they start unions? Why'd they tell us they started unions? Look that up. And what have they become? Are you really benefiting? Or are people is just a money-making scheme? I think he went and sat with them and said, this is where we're going. And if you want to survive, it's going to be for the people again. So I'm excited about that. All right. How much time do we have? I'm going to stop scheduling things at 10 o'clock so we can talk longer. But as of now, I was booked out a couple weeks, so I can't do that. What do we got here? Okay, I can't really make your decisions for you. Should I stay or should I go? You can come to me in private reading. We can talk about that. I can ask questions and they can say, well, the best way to ask that was, would I be happier in Texas or would I be happier in California? Something like that. Will MedBeds come out soon? We're looking at 24, 25. Okay. I do believe that they have been working on the centers and all of that for quite a while now, getting it to a place. And so what they have to do, and what I got earlier, is that they have to get, it has something to do with liability insurance. Okay, there has to be, anytime you have a property or a business or a home or anything, you have to have some kind of insurance. Otherwise, somebody could come in with a bad knee, fall down, and say, well, I'm suing you for everything you have. Okay, and screw everything up. So you gotta have basic liability insurance on the building. And if you're doing something medically for the public, it's probably a little bit more. Okay, and in order to be approved for that, you got to have testing. You got to test it out. You got to submit some kind of statistics about how safe it is or whatever. So something like that has been going on behind the scenes with the whole MedBed operation, or will. But most people, when they ask me, when they get into a MedBed, it is late 24 into 25 and on from there. And depending on the severity of your issues, because they're really going to try to get people who need it the most there. Okay. There is, people said that maybe you get an early pass with the RV. Is that true? For some, that is true. So there is hope there. It is coming. It is a real thing. Yes. We'll talk about that in private. I shouldn't have clicked on that. Anyway. Okay. Does my female cockatiel have an ear infection? Say Jesus, let's look at the cockatiel. And I hate this lighting that goes out like this. It's so annoying. Basically, yes, there's some fluid in there. So yeah, I'd take her in. Interested in seeing if you can tell what's bothering my son Dominic's feet. Tried to buy medical eval, but didn't see it on the. Oh yeah, I did take that down. That's always available. Just get a 30-minute reading. For all those that you don't know, I'm a medical intuitive. Let me hold real still. There we go. Okay. I'm a medical intuitive. It is my strongest gift. It came about working with Jesus doing healings. And so people come to me in private when the doctors can't figure out what's wrong. I do a scan with Jesus standing there. He tells me, he shows me thing in medical drawings, pops out from the body, head to toe. What's wrong with you? And they take that information back to the doctor. So that is something that I do. If you're interested, just get a 30-minute reading and say, oh, I need a medical evaluation. Fine, we'll do that. She needs a lot of therapy. Okay. Ask about my daughter Tara's mental recovery. It's going to be a while. I'm not going to sugarcoat that for you. I'm sorry, but there will be improvement. Okay, dog Samson has some bumps on him. Put him on a fresh diet. Is there anything else I can do to help him? These are fat lumps. And I think it was probably from too much grain or too much corn. Have you ever noticed you feed dog corn niblets, like if they eat the leftovers from the dinner? My dog actually, I learned this because my dog actually got into the trash one night and ate a bunch of corn. And it doesn't digest. So why the hell would there be corn in dog food? Okay. So I do think that too much wheat, too much corn, and things like that, they tend to get these little hard lumps. They get little fat deposits. I don't think in Samson that it is cancerous. Always keep up with your vet to find out, but I think it's fine. Hi, Mary. Do you see me moving in the next year or so? If yes, what area? Well, I can't really make that decision for you because if I say, oh, you're moving to this state, and then you decide, well, maybe I want to move to this state, but Jen said, I'm supposed to move to this state, and maybe that's my divine mission. No, you make that decision. I don't see you necessarily moving. I do see something either like a trip or a second, like a vacation spot. Okay. My son get a job and his degree soon. Okay. Listen, there's going to be a few months here. And I told you guys this was coming. The layoffs are coming. If they push this thing off too far, what's going to happen is the businesses are going to start laying off people to cut the fat so they can survive. And that's what we're seeing right now. We're going to see it across the board. It's going to continue until they trigger this thing and it gets better. Okay. Well, basically until the Nasara announcement for, the public and the businesses. The RV people, we're all behind the scenes, and yeah, we'll be okay. But until they start the rollout for Nasara and Jasara in the public eye and businesses have confidence for go to gold, this is a problem. If you got a job, hold on to it as much as you can. Us in the RV, we're going to be okay. Okay. But there's a lot of people that won't. So thoughts of, well, maybe I won't give to my kids because they need to make their own way. Just do it. All right, set them up. It's a hard time. We're living through like a depression. Okay. People are moving home because they can't afford the rents. Well, I got a full house over here. Everybody and their mother and their dogs are living in my house. I mean, because they can't separately afford the rents around here. It's a bad situation. And then the problem is they're not hiring new people. Okay. Tell them to take anything right now. And then maybe in about 3 months, pursue something else that for his degree. Thomas Klein, does he get the truck soon? He does get the truck soon. March. Oh, yeah, I'm sure I'll hear from Mike. Mike has the flu. Yes, I will do healings and I will talk to him. He always talks to me when he's sick or has boo-boos. Do we have superhuman powers such that we can heal ourselves or others without medmeds? What did Jesus say? He said, these things that I do, you shall do too, in so many words, right? And why was Jesus able to do those things? Well, like biggest piece of God ever to come here. But he had no doubt. What interferes with our healing and our happy life and our positive creation is doubt and worry and fear, and they know it. And that is why the programming is important. They know your creators. The bad guys, you've got proof all around you. Why is it important that why do they care what you think? And why not just dominate society and tell you what to do? No, they got to convince you to believe a certain thing and to create the reality that they want and the misery that they want. And that is where we're going with this, ladies and gentlemen. We're breaking out of the box. And creation comes from the highest of vibrations. That is love. Not just romantic love. It is the light. It is the seventh element. It is the element that houses all others. It is the element of creation. Positive thought creates and negative thought destroys. And somehow in your reality, you create something in the middle. It's up to you. So yes, we do have the ability to heal ourselves. I've been doing it. Just with the amount of belief that I have. And believing that God can do anything for people. As long as it's not written in their plan to go from it, And that's what I mean when I say believe in infinite possibilities. All right, guys, I have to get going. Somebody's going to call me in like 2 minutes. But I want to thank everybody for joining me here today. Let's get that off there. Go to the banners. Once again, go to jenniferfallaw.com. And I got, there's a ticker banner. I'd really appreciate it if you guys would share the show. As far as making money and stuff, I'm okay. And I hate this bright light. I mean, I'm good. As long as I keep working, right? And I know what's coming. And I'll be fine. But what I have to teach, I want to be heard. And I want to share it. And I want a lot of people to hear it. Because I feel like that's my humanitarian project. That is my mission. Not that's been forced upon me, but it's my idea. And I really want to do it. So share these shows with anybody you think that would benefit from it. I don't think we're going to get banned. If we do, I'll find some other way to come about. Share it. So I was streaming to Rumble, but every time I get on here, it tells me we're having a problem streaming to Rumble and we can't do it. And I don't know why. So I will figure that out. All right, guys, have a great day. Stay positive. We're about to watch the climax and the conclusion to this whole thing, and it's going to be cool. Do not get sucked in to the fear. Okay? And keep your intentions divine. All right, guys, I love you all. I'll see you on Tuesday. Well, actually Monday in Real News Live on Rumble. Tuesday back here. Have a great day. Bye. Let's see. I didn't do that. Okay, here we go.